Well, hello, my friends. I'm your friend Kevin. This is your Divine Daily Blast, followed by the weekly tarot reading for this week, July the 12th through July the 18th. Let's get right to it and see what's going to happen. Big week on the horizon, I think, as far as big movements, big things happening, exciting stuff going on. Now, before we get going, yesterday I could not find my notes on where the moon was. Well, I finally found them. They were up underneath another piece of paper, almost like they were vacuum packed to that piece of paper. So I'm going to start by saying where the moon was yesterday and whether or not it made a difference to you. If you can remember what all went on yesterday, sometimes I have a struggle with that. So yesterday, June the 11th, the moon was in Gemini. And it was saying, as we move deeper into the waning cycle, it's time to look deeper into ourselves. Did you do some self-reflection, my friends? And do you have any toxic feelings that need to be released? I didn't have any toxic feelings yesterday. And I wasn't around any toxic people. But I did do some introspection. My creative project had me go in a deeper dive, pulling back the layers. This isn't just an ordinary thing. This is something that's got legs, it's got a soul, it's got a heart, it's got a pulse. So I think at some point I did do some introspection. But let's talk about today. The moon has moved into Cancer. Lots and lots of emotions are swirling around under the Cancerian moon. And there are plenty of electric energies coming up. So be careful today that you don't say a bit too much, a bit too soon. So energetically this week, it's all going to be what I call kicking off. And it might seem like things are going off the chain. So pay attention, because we've got a new moon coming up on the 14th, which is 2 days from now. And it's taken place ahead of two of the biggest astrological events of this entire year. Take advantage of it. Do not push past it and rush ahead, because this is the time we all need to settle down, put our feet up, and take a deep breath in. A bit like get the popcorn out and watch the drama. This new moon in Cancer, which is coming up on Tuesday, is normally easygoing, because Cancer is a sign of homemaking, kind people, good people, mothering, just that lovely sort of almost a fresh baked feeling from Cancers. They're also dynamic and forthright. So this new moon may be a time for everyone to step up. Big strides forwards can be taken when the skies are this powerful. However, your key or your marker or your noggin is to absolutely make sure that you are centered and grounded. Because it's going to seem like life is on a racetrack. And you may get the feeling that you are left behind or left out in the cold, or something happened before you knew what it was. Well, this is a time that could be risky if you dig too far into that. I'm getting left behind, I'm feeling overwhelmed. You are where you are, and that's perfectly okay. You're going to get where you need to be at the right time. So you want to, when you get into these panic stations, so you don't stir that energy up this week, you want to get into that feeling of all is well, I am fine, and everything works out perfectly in my life. That is being centered, that's being grounded, and that's being clear on what's going on. After you make those statements, after you get grounded, you can continue with what it is you want to manifest. The other part of this week is that healing is coming from Uranus, and it's approaching a super rare link up with Neptune. It hasn't happened since 1968, so it speaks about breaking away from normality and getting a lot more of that cosmic energy. Remember what happened in the 60s? We had the rise of psychedelics, the introduction of meditation. The Beatles trotted off to India and did their little ashram visit. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens this particular week, this particular time in our evolution. Try to tap into the Cancerian moon and face your fears. You can be born, you can lead, you can follow your own visions, you can make sure you're centered and grounded before you visualize anything in the future. I think the other thing is, once you're grounded and you feel centered and you've got that open communication with divine visualization, then you want to imagine yourself being transported to where you want to be in the future. This is why getting centered, getting grounded turns off that monkey mind, turns off that crazy can't get centered, can't get settled. There's a time in your day, for me it's first thing in the morning like now, where it's very, very clear. Moving on. We have an angel numerology number 2 day today, so keep the faith and focus on the positive. Number 2 is all about partnerships, cooperation, balance, harmony, intuition, and faith. Number 2 is linked to spiritual connection. It's a sign that you can trust your gut feeling, and you've got the faith in your divine path, especially when you're navigating through these odd challenges. When you see the number 2, focus on your relationships. Focus on where you are either out of balance or need more balance, which is the same thing really. And trusting your intuition, like I just said. All right, we've got a new divine master. Well, not new to us. They've been around before. Sita and Rama, the Holy Union. And I'm going to say the Holy Union is between you and the physical and you and the non-physical. However, Rama and Sita talks about soulmate connection, romantic opportunity. They're basically Hindu personifications of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. They were pivotal in the Festival of Light, which is also called Diwali. Embodiments of the divine love and the holy union and that kind of thing. The magical couple can be invoked to help with overcoming challenges in relationships and all that sort of stuff. Not necessarily about relationships, although when the planets start to change and shift, we do start to look at our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with our beloved and our loved ones, our relationships with those that support us. So all week long, our message is that we've got a great opportunity to experience heart healing. You know, in our past, we may have found things difficult, challenging, may not have been able to trust and let ourselves be loved, and therefore we put up barriers, we put up walls, we stop others from seeing our authentic selves. Well, now we can find ourselves being empowered. There's a very distinct possibility this week of a loving partnership, particularly if you're sharing your trials and your tribulations. And we have a lovely, 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 lovely angel activator this week, known as Archangel Raguel. Archangel Raguel also has the prayer and the affirmation. That was not planned. I pulled this one yesterday, pulled this one this morning, but I didn't go choosing it. I don't know why I'm explaining that to you, but I think a lot of people are like, oh yeah, we just pre-plan all these things. That's too much trouble for me. I like to just go with the flow and let it go. Go with the flow and let it all flow. As a friend of God, I can bring compassionate, uplifting people into your life who support you professionally and personally. Your affirmation here is, helpful people surround me everywhere I go. I attract families, friends who love and support me. Perfect. Now, Raguel, in the Angel Activation deck, is really encouraging us to detach ourselves from drama. And being the friend of God, he's got this pearly white, adrenaline, harmonious feel about him. Raguel works very closely with all those that are called upon to bring an end to conflict and challenges. He's like known as the great healer of people. So stay strong this week, my friends, with your intentions and your choices and your emotions. And take time to step away from anyone and anything that's coming forward with harsh energies, intentions, negativity. Your activation messages. Thank you, Raguel, for helping me discern the truth without being attached to the drama. Absolutely done. Boom, chakalaka, laka, laka. That's what I have to say about that. Let's see, what else can we say? Oh, my isms. I'm tending to the garden of importance. I'm grateful for all I've received so far and what is on the way. And I am my own magic. I am magically manifesting my future right now. Nothing else to say. Louise Hay says, I look forward to the healthy old age because I am take loving care of my body. I have to get my head around looking forward to healthy old age. That's interesting. That's all right. It's fine. I mean, we all have to get there, right? I think there's a mild fear that something's not going to work, or I'm somehow going to, become incapacitated in some way. I don't want that to happen. Anyway, here we go. Tarot card for today. Then we're going to get to the ones for the rest of the week in a few moments. 3 of Cups. Now, it's a card of celebration, as you can see, our mermaids here in the water. It's about community, emotional support. It represents joyful gatherings, deep friendships, and harmony that comes from being surrounded by people who uplift you. This is a card that encourages us to lean into support networks, collaborate, even celebrate life's milestones, birthdays, weddings, engagements, whatever's going on with the people that you love and you care about. It's also a good sign to let loose, socialize, celebrate, whether that means throwing a party, attending a wedding. Career and finance can be highlighted. Highly cooperative and successful team environment often pops up when this 3 of Cups shows up. I like that. I like that a whole lot. All right, let's see what the fairies have to say for today, and then we're going to move on to our reading for the week, which is pretty simple. Every day I pull a tarot card, and then it usually fits in with our numerology and where the moon is. Let's see what the fairy message is. Magical blessings. So now, right away, without a doubt, I got 3 fairies all lifting their arms, their heart, their vibration up to heaven. I got 3 maidens in the water celebrating with each other. So I would say your lucky number today is most definitely 3. And I would also say surround yourself with people that are non-judgmental, and if they're going down into a sad story, either try to shut that down or basically say, I don't quite know how you want me to help you, but I'm glad to listen. Be done. Right, beautiful people. I'll be right back with a click of my fingers, and we'll have the reading for the week ahead. Bye for now. All right, so here we go. We've just talked about the 3 of Cups being for Sunday, so we'll put that down. On Monday, we have the Judgment card, and the Judgment card signifies spiritual awakening, inner calling. It's a profound life-altering transformation, a bit like a rebirth, if you will. It represents an inescapable cosmic wake-up call, which really goes along with the fact that this would be our dark moon, right before the new moon. It represents an urge to evaluate your past, get rid of unhealed drama, get rid of unhealed karma as well as drama. Embrace your true higher purpose. That is on Monday. I'd say this is sort of lifting up your energies, lifting up your vibration. Now, Tuesday, which is really quite dramatic, which is why you have to get centered and grounded. Tuesday, we've got the Six of Swords. Now, swords are usually mental cards. It's what we think. It's what's going on in our minds. And here we see our queen on her gondola with the swords all around her in the water, poking upward, not downward. She's got a raven that's holding onto the chandelier, an owl that's on the front of the gondola, and a cat that's guiding the way. And basically, the message is really talking about making a transition and moving away from a turbulent or stressful situation towards calmer, more peaceful circumstances. Which is why I said, sit down, get quiet, take a breather, put your feet up. It represents a journey of healing, leaving behind heavy emotional baggage, allowing yourself to progress forward. Classic depictions of this card, and I'm really talking about the Rider-Waite deck, are hooded figures and a child being rowed across calm waters, leaving behind a turbulent past. Well, the Six of Swords is embedded in the boat, reminding us that we still carry memories and lessons from our experiences, even as we journey forward to a better place. On Wednesday, we got the Two of Coins. This is a card that I haven't really seen much of. It's all about juggling this, juggling that, just making sure that your priorities can be really, truly flexible. It's almost like a flibbity-gibbet day with money and finances and things that you hold dear. The Two of Coins is like, multitasking, balancing priorities, adapting to change. Typically serves as a gentle reminder to remain flexible. Like I just said, keep things humorous, upbeat, adaptability, in other words. Moving on to Thursday. This is our Three of Swords. Now, the Three of Swords talks about a wounded heart, grief, sadness, loss. Typically depicts a heart that's been pierced by three swords beneath a stormy, rain-filled sky. Well, we don't have the stormy, rain-filled sky here, but we do have a tattoo of a heart that's broken open. And the two swords, well, they're actually three. One behind him, one to the left, one to the right. One in front of him, one to the behind him, and one on his shoulder. It's like a sudden betrayal or difficulty with reality. Maybe you realize something on Thursday that you really are not real happy about. Someone gives you news that upsets you. You read something that upsets you. Something you thought that would work out didn't work out. It is a feeling of loss, a definite feeling of grief coming up. With the traditionally viewed as a bleak card, it represents the intersection of where the mind and the heart come together. And sometimes our own thoughts are causing us to feel something. So try to find a way to pull yourself out of the doldrums. And even if you have to sit with the feeling of sadness, be with the feeling. Sometimes we try to work out why we're feeling the way we're feeling. That's what leads to pain and grief and blame and all of those shame and all that stuff. Just feel the feeling. It's like emotional rain clouds. They need to be washed away. Because on Friday, I like Friday's card. Friday's card is full of fun and grace. 10 of Cups. The ultimate emotional fulfillment. Domestic harmony, if you will. This is the happily ever after card. Deep kinship, joy, complete contentment in all your relationships, complete contentment in your home life. The 10 of Cups is this deeply positive omen. It's about your heart being in the right place, being in the place of peace and acceptance. Now, if you are heavily invested in business and money making, this is a feeling of being supported by your team or being supported by your clients or being supported by the people you work with. Focus on creating long-term security on Friday. And enjoy the pleasant moment that surrounds you. I like this card. You know, we see the family portrait, the dog in the yard, the cat on the fence, the fire burning in the hearth. All these cups are going on in here. Got the book open, been reading a it's a good one. It's like the tree of life for family. Now, Saturday, 2 of Wands. Planning, making decisions, looking forward to the future. Well, in this card, we've got the blue and the red, warm and cool. And the 2 Wands rising up out of the earth, winding around the tree of life, which is really quite lovely. Boldness, stepping out of your comfort zone, the need for active strategizing. This could also talk about your big next move, thinking bigger, commit to a direction, making a decision about partnerships, making a decision about anything that has to do with balance, duality. You can follow the 2 in numerology, keeping the faith and focusing on the positive. I think we're in the 2 day on today, which is Sunday. Balance, harmony, intuition, faith, diplomacy, sensitivity. And when it comes to Wands, that's active. Fire, passion. I got to plan this. I got to do this. I got to make all this happen. Pretty good week, I think, overall. Let me know in your comments what you think. And until tomorrow morning, you have a fabulous day. Thanks for all you do. Bye for now.